Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to say today's tutorial is the 25th snowflake of the 25 Days of Snowflakes. This is the last one. Yay. I am ready to be done with these things. So this is a larger snowflake, and obviously this one's going to need a lot of pinning and starching and then a lot of adjusting of stitches to get this nice and neat. But what we're going to do, these long chain loops, we're going to pin them to like a triangle point. So a tall point and then little sides like that. So nothing too fancy here. And then we've got our, I call them little tree picots. We're going to get those pointed up nice and pretty. And get those adjusted nice into the chain 5 corners there. Alright. I'm so excited this is the last one. Alright, let's talk about what you're going to need. You're going to need, if you choose to make it out of yarn, and I say this at the beginning of all the videos, the 25 snowflakes, if you choose to make it out of yarn, just use whatever hook that yarn recommends. But for mine, I did size 10 crochet thread. I'll wrap that up because I'm done with that. That's from Red Heart. Then I used a 1.75 millimeter crochet hook and scissors, a stitch marker, and then you're going to need a needle to weave in your ends, and I used a size 22 DMC needle from Walmart. These are in the embroidery aisle, embroidery and cross stitch. They're right next to the embroidery floss, but they're actually used for cross stitching and embroidering, but they're perfect to weave in the ends of our crochet thread. And that's it. So this is the 25th snowflake. So the next tutorial is going to be starching snowflakes 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. All right. Are you guys ready to do the last one? Get your stuff together and let's get started. Okay, guys, let's get started on our very last snowflake. And just like the others, slip knot on our hook. And we're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to come down, slip stitch to that very first chain to form a ring. Pull that tail tight so it closes up that chain. Hold it to the side so we work over it. And for round 1, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to work 2 double crochet into the ring. 1 and 2. I forgot to zoom in. Okay, 2 double crochet into the ring and we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. And we're going to repeat that 5 more times. So at the end we should have 6 chain 2s. Okay? All right, so we go back in there with 2 doubles. 1. 1, 2, chain 2. 2 doubles. Oh, come on. Chain 2. Alright guys, so I'm going to finish this off camera and I'm going to come back when I work my 6th chain 2, okay? I will be right back. Right now I have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I just finished my 6th chain 2 right there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now we slip stitch to that very first double crochet right there. All right, so now to start round 2, we're going to chain 1, pull up a loop, and I'm going to stop and I'm going to pull this tail, close up that center, just to kind of, you know, get it a little smaller. All right, chain 1, and we're going to double crochet into that very first double. We're going to double crochet into our next double. And then into that chain 2, we're going to work a double, chain 3, and right back in there with 1 double. And then we're going to double into the next 2 doubles. Into the chain 2 with a double, chain 3, and I go back in there with a double. Double into the next 2 doubles. So repeat that around. Double crochet into each double, and then into the chain 2 corners with a double, chain 3, double crochet. Repeat that around, and I will meet you when we get to that last chain 2 loop. Okay, so I've come back around. I've worked a double into these 2 double crochets right here. So the last thing that's left is the chain 2 space. So I'm going to go right in there with my double, chain 3, and double. Slip stitch to our very first double right here. Get in there. Okay, pull that tail a little tighter, and that is the end of round 2. So round 3, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go right back into that double we just slip stitched into with a double, or yeah, a double, but I didn't yarn over, with a double. And then we're going to double crochet into the next 2 doubles. Into the chain 3 corner, we're going to work 1 double crochet, chain 4, 1 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now just double into each of your doubles until the next chain 3 corner. And into the chain 3 corner, 1 double, chain 4, 1 double. Double into your next doubles. So go ahead and repeat that around, and I'll meet you when we get to that last chain 3 loop, okay? Okay, so I'm come to the end, and all I've got left is that chain 3 corner. So I'm going to work my 1 double, chain 4, 1 double, and now I've got 1 double that I still got to work into right here. So we're going to double crochet into there. Now we're back to the beginning. We slip stitch into that first double, and that's the end of round 4. So to move on, or I'm sorry, round 3. 1, 2, 3. To move on to round 4, we chain 1. We're going to work a double into the very first double that we just slip stitched into, a double into each double until we get to the chain 4 corner. One more. And into that chain 4 corner, we're going to work 1 double, chain 5, 1 double, double crochet into each double until the next chain 4 loop. Into that chain 4 loop, work 1 double, chain 5, 1 double. And that is it for round 5. Ah, dang it, round 4, I'm sorry. So go ahead and repeat that around, and I'll meet you at the end. All right. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've made it around. I'm to my last chain, chain 4. So I'll get a double, no, dang it, a double chain 5, and right back in there with a double. And then I've got 2 double right there that I need to work into before I get to my first double of the round. 1 and 2. Now I'm going to slip stitch to my first double, and that is the end of, ooh, my finger got tangled. That's the end of round 4, and you can see what we have. It's looking pretty. All right, now we're going to move on to round 5. Okay, so we slip stitched to that very first double crochet. Now to move on to our last round of our last snowflake, we are going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into that very first double. Now I'm going to mark that with a stitch marker so I don't lose that. And we're going to chain 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. We're going to single crochet into the very next double crochet. So we have a large loop right there. Now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come to that chain 5 corner, and we're going to single crochet into there. Now here comes the fun part. We're going to make that pretty little point you saw in the thumbnail. All right, we are going to chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to slip stitch into the 7th chain from hook. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to hold 8th, and we're going to slip stitch into that 7th. Now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to slip stitch into the 6th chain from hook. So not the 7th chain, but the 6th chain. Now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to come down and slip stitch into the 5th chain from hook, from our hook. And now we're going to slip stitch right into that very next chain, which would have been the 6th chain from hook, from our hook. Okay? Now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slip stitch into the 6th chain from our hook. Come on now. All right, now we're going to bring this back out, open it all back up. And we're going to come down here, and the slip stitch, or that chain that we skipped, or well, we would have slip stitched into, we're going to slip stitch into that's right between the first and the second picot. See the 4 that are there? There's a chain right between these, the first and the second picot, right there. We're going to slip stitch into that. Okay? Now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slip stitch into the 7th chain from our hook. I need to turn my pattern page. Flip my notebook over. Okay, now we're going to come down, and the chain right underneath that first picot, see the first picot right there? There's a chain right underneath there. Slip stitch into that. And now we're going to slip stitch into the next 3 chains. So you can see 1, 2, and the last one is right there, 3. And we're back to our chain 5 corner, and we're going to single crochet into that chain 5. And there is that pretty little point. Now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to skip 3 doubles, single crochet into that next double, and we're back to the beginning. Chain 16. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm getting tangled up here. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Come all the way back down to that next double and work a single. So here is what we should have so far. There we go. Once we get these starched, they'll be more movable. But this one will poke up like that. And then this one we're gonna starch it into like a little bit of a diamond shape. So 2 sides with the top point. Okay, so our repeat is single crochet, or no, chain 16, single crochet into the very next single or double, chain 4, 2, 3, 4, come to that chain 5 corner, work a single, and then we're going to start the little point again, which is chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Come down and slip stitch into the 7th chain from our hook. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Slip stitch into that 7th chain. Chain 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slip stitch into the 6th chain from our hook. Chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slip stitch into the 5th chain from our hook. Now we're going to slip stitch into that very next chain, which would have just been the 6th chain from our hook. Chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slip stitch into the 6th chain from our hook. And now we're going to come back down, and the chain that's between our 1st and 2nd picot, we're going to slip stitch into there. Chain 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slip stitch into the 7th chain from our hook. Get in there. And now we're going to come down and slip stitch into that chain that's right underneath that 1st picot. Right there. We're going to slip stitch in there. And now we just slip stitch into the next 3 chains. 1, 2, 2, and the last one is 3, and we're going to single crochet back into that chain 5 corner, and then we're going to chain 4, 2, 3, 4, skip the first 3 doubles, single crochet into that next double, and start the repeat over again. Chain 16, single crochet into that next double crochet, chain 4, single crochet into our chain 5 loop, and then we start the biggest point, I'll say, chain 11, slip stitch into the 7th, chain 7, slip stitch into the 6th, chain 6, slip stitch into the 5th, slip stitch into the very next chain that would have been the 6th chain from hook, and then we're going to chain 6, slip stitch into the 6th, and then we're going to come back down and we're going to slip stitch into the chain that's between the first and second picot, so it's right in there. We're going to slip stitch into that. Then you're going to chain 7, slip stitch into the 7th chain from your hook, and then you're going to slip stitch into the chain that's right underneath that first picot. Then you got 3 chains down we're going to slip stitch into, and then we're back to the chain 5 in the corner, so work your single crochet in there, and then chain 4, skip 3 double crochet, single crochet into the next, chain 16, single crochet into the next double, and we're doing the repeat over again, okay? So repeat that around, and I will meet you after we work our let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, our 6th point, okay, in this chain 5 loop. So work your 6th one and come back, and then we're going to move on from there, okay? Okay, so I've made it around. I got hopped off there. I worked my last long point here, and I single crocheted back into the chain 5 point, and now I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to slip stitch to the very first single crochet that we have marked. All right, you can chain 1 and fasten off if you're going to use the little wire hanger things from Walmart for Christmas ornaments, or if you want to do what I'm going to do, I'm going to chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut and fasten off 2, because I'm going to make my hanger somewhere else. All right, I'm going to get these 2 ends weaved in, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to make our little hanger. I just haven't figured out where we're going to do it yet. All right, get your ends weaved in and get back here. Okay, so I've got those ends weaved in, and I've looked at this, and I've kind of figured that I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to hang this from the top of my larger point here. So I'm going to get me a longer piece, about a foot of thread. Get that loaded on my needle. And I'm just going to grab one of these little tree corner points. And I want to go right into the top of the chain 2, or not chain 2, the chain at the top, and pull that little tail in. And now I'm going to weave this in a few stitches. I'm just going to go back and forth through the chains. And then right in there. And I'm going to bring it back. Okay, now I'm going to cut that. And now I'm going to take the other side on my needle. There. Now I'm going to come down on the other side of the chain. I'm just going to weave it in through the stitches of the chain. I'm going to stop and see how long I want that. I like that height. That looks pretty good. I'm going to hold that so I don't lose the length of my hanger. I'm just going to come finish weaving this in. I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to go one more. Get out. There. And now I'm going to cut. And there we go. Now this one, we're going to have to do a lot of pinning on this one to get this one nice and laid out and adjusting stitches. But this one is it, guys. This is it. Give yourselves a pat on the back if you did all 25 of these, because holy cow, my fingers hurt. And I'm so happy to be done with these snowflakes. So once again, as always, guys, you know you're the greatest. I love each and every one of you, and I thank you all so very much for taking time out of your day to watch one of my tutorials. I truly, truly appreciate it. So thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. And if you could hit that thumbs up button, leave me a comment, subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss any of my tutorials. And that's it, guys. Check out that description box too. I got some stuff down there for you. All right, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.